Okay, good morning everyone. Today is a friendship day. It's a great day for us to be together. It is true what Deepak said is today on the Facebook you can have more friends and still be very lonely. There was a song in 1972 that became very famous called by Bill Withers called Lean on Me. Beautiful song. I will not sing for you because that's a gift that I do not have. Singing is not a gift I have. Honestly, there was a time when I used to go for song practice in the church. To become a song leader. So after 2-3 Sundays, the song leader came and said, from now next Sunday, you don't have to come. I got the point. He was very nice to me. And this song, it talks about how sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there is always tomorrow. So he starts with, yes, we have pain. We have troubles. We have sorrow. But there is a tomorrow. When you go through that pain and sorrow, what are you supposed to do? And then it goes on to say, lean on me. I know we all look for someone to lean on, but many times we are not the one that people can lean on. And the poet or the singer says that, lean on me when you are not strong. And I will be your friend and I will carry you through those times of pain and suffering. And then he goes on to say that for it won't be long till I'm going to need someone to lean on. He says that right now you can lean on me, but there will come a time when I will go through difficult time. I will go through challenging time. And that's the time I will need someone to lean on. We all go through difficult times. We all need someone to lean on. So this morning I want to ask you, do you have a friend like that in your life that you can lean on when you are down? Are you a friend that others can lean on when they are down and in trouble? And a friendship is all about giving and taking. Because if it is only one way, it's only one person always taking and the other person always giving, then that friendship will not last too long. Now we all need friends. This pandemic has made us isolated, and in some cases we like it, right? But it also has made us selfish. Now why is friendship so important? The first thing is just, if you don't have friends, who will you share your experiences with? What do you see on the Facebook? Right? People share all kinds of, they just want to share everything. But you can deceive on Facebook. You can take a selfie in front of a nice car that doesn't belong to you. And portray that it is your car. I heard recently about people who are doing online shopping. They will wear the clothes, take pictures, put on Facebook and return that.
It's true.
Is it true? I heard about that. See, when you have close friends, you can share your experiences. Good, bad, ugly, what you go through. If you're happy, you're sad. That's what you need, someone that you can share it with. It boosts your confidence. A friend can help you to identify your strengths and push you and encourage you. He can help you believe in yourself, or he and she. A friend helps you to overcome your stress. The best cure for reducing stress is to just laugh with a friend. Isn't that true? Yes. Just laughing with a friend just takes away your stress. It also improves your lifestyle habits because a friend is someone who can help you to stay away from some of the habits that are not good for you. Studies have shown that positive social support helps people give up bad habits, including smoking, drinking, and drugs. It is also true. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, bad company corrupts good character. So if you don't have a good friend, it can mess you up as well. Having a friend helps you improve your mental and physical health. It helps you to make good decisions. Because a friend can help you to give you an unbiased choice. Proverbs 15:22 says, plan fails for lack of counsel, but for many advisors, they succeed. Having a friend who can guide you is a blessing. And of course, a friend can help you recover from grief. When you are going through grief, when you're going through pain, there is no other person that you want to be with a friend that you can just cry and just be real and open. The book of Proverbs talks a lot about friendship. Written by King Solomon, one of the wisest men. And let's look at a few of the things that he talks about in the book of Proverbs about what friends are all about. Even though it was written thousands of years ago, the principle still holds even today. In Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17, very easy to remember. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. So the first thing that King Solomon talks about as a friend is a friend who loves you unconditionally, who is willing to accept you in spite of all your weaknesses and shortcomings. You're down, when you have made mistakes, when maybe you have hurt that person. In your good time, bad time, a friend never leaves you. Ask yourself, are there any friends in your life that you have walked away because you felt hurt? In every relationship, brothers and sisters, you will feel hurt. You will get hurt. Intentionally or unintentionally. But that is not the reason why you give up on a relationship. If there is a friend like that you have walked away from, today is a good day to just give a call to that person. Say hi to that person. Get reconciled. Even if that person has hurt you, you be the big person and initiate the relationship. Initiate the reconciliation.
Wow.
Maybe that person wants to be reconciled to you but doesn't have that courage. In Proverbs chapter 18 verse 24, the next thing that Solomon talks about. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. The second quality that Solomon talks about is trustworthiness. Have you ever had a friend that you relied on for something very important and that person did not show up or did not come through? And maybe that was a big thing in your life. That was a big event or a big decision or whatever it was. And that person just forgot and all he could just say sorry. And if you have that kind of friend that you rely on, in verse 24 Solomon says, unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. Now you're going to get hurt. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Trustworthiness means trusting someone when you need them. But that's also the kind of friend that we need to be for others. If we tell somebody we are going to do something and they depend on us, we got to make sure that we are reliable. Every quality that we look in someone else, we got to make sure that we have the same quality in ourselves. We can't have double standard where we have a high expectation on others but a very low expectation out of ourselves. The third quality is in Proverbs chapter 19 verse 6. It says, many curry favor with a ruler, or curry, right? And everyone is a friend with the one who gives gifts. We all like to receive gifts. And whoever gives gifts to us, we feel a sense of love, that emotion of love toward that person, at least for that point of time. Gifts have way of, healing relationships, getting reconciled. And that is one of the qualities that is very important in a friendship is we got to invest in a friendship. If you want friends, you need to initiate, but you need to also invest. You got to invest your time. You got to be willing to make time. You got to be willing to invest money. Where go out and have a cup of coffee together. Traveling, making effort. You can't have friendship if you don't make effort towards. I know we are busy with our schedule, but we got to still make time for friendship. Because if you don't, and when you are in need, no one will come to you. Come to help you, come to rescue you. In Proverbs 22 verse 11, it says, in a friendship there should be no hidden agendas. One who loves a pure heart and he speaks with grace will have a king for a friend. Let's be honest. Many times in a relationship, we always think, how can this relationship benefit me? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Let's be honest. Yes, we always think, how will I benefit? What will I gain out of this relationship? And if I don't get anything out of this relationship, why should I even invest in this relationship? But what Solomon says is we got to have a pure heart. Where it is not about what can you get. The question that we got to always ask is, how can I benefit others? When you think about others, guess what? Others will also start thinking about you. Let's not have any hidden agendas in our relationship and in our friendship. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 6, Solomon says that wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. We need to have a friend who will speak up to us. You can't have a yes bros all the time.
No.
Wounds. How do you get hurt? It's words. When a friend says something that is true, but you don't like to listen to that truth, right? For example, if your friend says, hey, you're lazy, you might not like that, but that might be true. But if you have a friend who's doing something wrong and you don't speak up to that person with the fear of I will ruin my relationship, then Solomon says you are an enemy of that person, because enemy multiplies kisses. Sees all the things that are wrong, knows that it's going to hurt you, but doesn't care enough, just says all the good things about you. Now when we look at all these qualities that Solomon says needs to be in a friend, we look at Jesus has all these qualities and even more. Yeah. And it is not a coincidence that all of us are going to John chapter 15, from Paul to Deepak to myself. We all prepared separately, but we merged together. It was the same passage. But let's look at John 15, 13 to 17. Book of Proverbs challenges us to be what kind of friend we need to be. But John 15 inspires us to imitate the person who has all these qualities. Let's look at this passage. Now, these are Jesus' words to his disciples. And he knows that he is going to go to the cross very soon. And this is where his relationship changes with his disciples. And in verse 13, it says, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. Jesus is talking about in a relationship, we got to be willing to sacrifice. And he set the standard by himself going to the cross. He did not just talk, but he also walked his talk. Now he sacrificed himself on the cross so that you and I can be rescued from our sin. In fact, it says that because Jesus died so that you and I do not have to die and be lost for eternity. Verse 14, Jesus is saying, you are my friends if you do whatever I command you. So what Jesus is telling a disciple, that you are my friends because you're obedient to my commands. We sang the song, what a friend we have in Jesus, right, this morning, right? And yes, he's a friend, but how can we be friend to Jesus? And verse 14 is the answer, if you do what Jesus commands. Now sometimes we think that all that I need to do is, stop all the bad things. But that is not enough. Along with leaving all your bad sins and habits and all, you got to also do what is right. Now, friendship is all about obedience. In verse 15, the first part of 15, Jesus says, I have called you friends. In a relationship between a disciple and a rabbi at that point of time, there was no friendship between them. It was always a teacher and a student relationship. And even with the relationship between master and slave, that relationship cannot turn into friendship. But what we see over here is Jesus calling his disciples friend. He's saying, you are now my friend. Which means that he wants to be a friend. He wants to have a relationship with us. But friendship has to be both ways, right? It can't be just one way. We also have to reciprocate. As he desires to be our friend, is that our desire this morning? It is not just enough to believe in Jesus. We have got to also follow him, obey him. In verse 15, the B part, what Jesus says, all the things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you. They were friends because Jesus did not keep any secrets from them. He openly revealed whatever he received from his Father. That's such an important quality in a friendship, being open and transparent. Sometimes we are very selective in our openness. And then the problem is we are selective with different people, we talk about different things. And then you forget who you told what. But also if you're married, I just want to encourage you, your spouse needs to be your best friend. Because after God, your spouse is the most important person on this earth. That means there needs to be openness and transparency between the spouses. There should not be any hidden agenda. That means no hidden bank accounts, right? Sometimes the husband doesn't know what the wife's bank account, how much is there. Hey, transparent. Yes, your money, whatever, but be transparent. In verse 16, he goes on to say, you did not choose me, but I chose you. Jesus chooses his disciple to be his friends. He initiated the relationship. Now that means you got to understand it's a privilege to be chosen by God himself to be his friend for eternity. You don't realize how privileged it is when you are chosen. I remember when we were growing up, we used to play in a colony. We used to play cricket or football, and we would make teams. And the captain, we would choose a captain, and he would start choosing. And you know the feeling when you're the last person to be chosen. Basically, what he's saying is, we don't want you, but we have to take you. But what Jesus is saying is, I want you. But now we have to respond. And lastly, in verse 16, Jesus says, go and bear fruit. What Jesus is saying is he does not want to keep the friendship with him just to ourselves. He wants to share it with the world. Sometimes in a friendship we can be very jealous when we are close to somebody, but that person is also close to somebody else. Right? And you don't like that. He needs to be only my friend. And what Jesus is saying is, let's not have that kind of a relationship with him. A selfish relationship. Jesus, he should only be my friend. He wants us to share him to the world. So that just as you and I have benefited by being a friend to Jesus and Jesus being a friend to us, it is time for us to make sure that others in the world also benefit from having a relationship with Jesus. Then in the end, verse 17, he just says, this is my command, love each other. Because everything that Jesus was talking about is motivated by love. Love covers over all multitude of sins. So in conclusion, what did we see today? We saw the qualities of friendship in Proverbs. Unconditional love and acceptance. Being trustworthy in a relationship. Willing to invest your time, your money and your effort in a relationship. Not having any hidden agenda, but being transparent in your relationship. Willing to speak up, willing to correct in a relationship. Calling the other person higher. All these qualities and even more we see in Jesus. Ask yourself, which are the areas that I need to grow in? Share with somebody. Ask that person to hold you accountable in that area, so that we can grow to be a great friend to people around us, as Jesus has been such a wonderful friend to us. And I read somewhere, it says, I went out to find a friend and could not find one anywhere. I went out to be a friend and found friends everywhere. When I am a friend, I find friends. Amen. Let's imitate Jesus. Let's learn from the book of Proverbs. Thank you very much. God bless you. And let's not just think about friendship day just today, once a year. Let us be a friend every single day. Amen. Thank you very much. God bless you.